In the fiery furnace of revolutionary China, Mao Zedong's thought blazed like an unquenchable flame. Mao's vision was not just a blueprint for the governance of a nation, but was rather a profound ideological warfare aimed at transforming the very soul of China. Through his strategic insights and unyielding resolve, Mao sought to mold a new proletariat class that would embody the essence of communist ideology. This essay delves deep into Mao's ideological battles, exploring his tactics, his struggles against internal and external enemies, and the enduring impact of his thoughts in shaping modern China. Mao Zedong's China was not merely a geopolitical entity undergoing transformations, it was the epicenter of a titanic ideological battle. This battle, led by Mao, aimed at inculcating a profound communist ethos among the masses. His vision was clear: to establish a society rooted deeply in Marxist-Leninist principles, transcending the traditional boundaries of political governance. Understanding Mao's ideological warfare requires a grasp on key terms. Ideological warfare in this context refers to the struggle between competing worldviews to dominate the social, cultural, and political landscapes. Proletariat, another fundamental concept, denotes the class of workers seen as the revolutionary force in Mao's theory. Mao's ideological journey began long before he became the face of the Chinese Revolution. Influenced by Marxist-Leninist philosophy, Mao tailored these doctrines to fit the unique socio-political landscape of China. His early writings reveal a deep engagement with questions of peasant mobilization and the role of the vanguard in leading the masses. The seeds of Mao's thoughts were sown during his formative years, shaped by the turbulent times of the early 20th century China. His experiences during the Long March and his observations of rural life in China convinced him of the need for a tailored approach to socialism in China, different from the Soviet model. The Yan'an period marks a critical phase in Mao's leadership, where he emphasized the cultural aspect of the revolution. The famous talks at the Yan'an Forum on Literature and Art in 1942 underscored this focus. Mao argued that culture should serve the purposes of the revolution, aligning artists and intellectuals with the proletariat cause. This period was crucial for indoctrinating party members and the public with Mao's ideologies. He stressed that art and literature were not merely for aesthetic pleasure, but were tools to propagate revolutionary ideals, to build a new socialist man, and to combat feudal and capitalist values. Following the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949, Mao's strategies transitioned from revolutionary warfare to state governance and power consolidation. His immediate tasks involved the integration of various Chinese territories and the establishment of a central authority. Mao instituted sweeping land reforms aimed at redistributing land from the feudal landlords to the peasantry. These reforms were often violent and involved mass mobilization and public trials. Mao believed that consolidating power required the dismantling of old structures and the firm establishment of a socialist state. For Mao, the revolution was an ongoing process. He conceptualized the idea of continuous revolution under the dictatorship of the proletariat to prevent the resurgence of capitalist tendencies. His theory was manifested in campaigns against counter-revolutionaries and rightists who were seen as threats to socialist purity. Landlord and comprador classes were targeted as Mao pushed for a classless society. These efforts were part of Mao's broader strategy to fortify the socialist fabric of China, ensuring that the bourgeoisie could not regain strength. Initiated in 1958, the Great Leap Forward was Mao's ambitious attempt to rapidly transform China into an industrial superpower. This policy pushed for massive increases in steel production and the collectivization of agriculture. However, the campaign led to disastrous results, including widespread famine and economic regression. The social impact was profound. The disruption of traditional agricultural practices and the push for steel production without proper technological means led to a decline in food production, exacerbating the famine conditions. This period highlighted the dangers of ideology-driven policymaking. the Cultural Revolution starting in 1966 was perhaps the most radical of Mao's ideological campaigns. It aimed to purge remnants of capitalist and traditional elements from Chinese society and to reassert Maoist thought as the dominant ideology. The movement mobilized millions of youths into the Red Guards, who became zealots for Mao's cause. The effects were catastrophic for China's cultural heritage and its political stability. Intellectuals were persecuted, historical artifacts destroyed, and the education system was disrupted. Mao's emphasis on ideological purity often came at the cost of practical governance. Mao's vision extended beyond the borders of China. He saw the Chinese Revolution as part of a global struggle against imperialism and capitalism. Mao supported revolutionary movements worldwide, offering moral and material support to other socialist countries and movements. This internationalist perspective was crucial in positioning China as a leader in the global communist movement, challenging both Western hegemony and Soviet leadership in socialism. Mao's policies shaped not only domestic, but also international communist strategies. Despite his control, Mao's policies met with considerable internal criticism, especially from within the Communist Party. The failures of the Great Leap Forward and the excesses of the Cultural Revolution prompted debates and criticism from party members, including Zhou Enlai and Deng Xiaoping. Economically, China faced severe challenges during Mao's reign. The focus on rapid industrialization and ideological purity often came at the expense of economic stability and growth, leading to periods of hardship and famine for the Chinese populace. Mao's ideological imprint on China is indelible. Even decades after his death, the debates on his policies and their impacts continue. Modern China, under different leadership, still grapples with the legacies of Mao's decisions, both the beneficial and the detrimental. Comparatively, the evolution of China from Mao's era to now underlines both continuities and departures from Maoist ideology. The shift from strict socialist policies to a more market-oriented economy poses reflections on the adaptability and transformation of Mao's ideological legacy. Mao significantly contributed to Marxist-Leninist theory, adapting it into what is now known as Maoism. His theories on peasant-based revolution, continuous revolution, and the mass-line approach are studied worldwide. Maoism, as a theory, emphasizes the role of the peasantry in the revolutionary struggle, a deviation from orthodox Marxism, which saw industrial workers as the vanguard. This adaptation was crucial in the context of China, predominantly an agrarian society at the time. Mao's tenure was riddled with ideological battles over revisionism and dogmatism. He was staunchly against revisionism, seeing it as a dilution of pure Marxist principles. These ideological conflicts were not just theoretical, but had practical implications, influencing policy decisions and political purges. The debates on whether to adhere strictly to Marxist doctrine, dogmatism, or to adapt it pragmatically, revisionism, shaped the dynamics within the Communist Party and had a lasting impact on Chinese political and social life. Mao Zedong reshaped China through his ideological vision, leaving a legacy that is both revered and reviled. His efforts to transform the cultural, social, and economic landscapes of China through communist principles were marked by both achievements and significant human costs. Reflecting on Mao's ideological battle, it becomes evident that his vision for China was one of radical transformation, a vision that he pursued with relentless fervor. The outcomes of this battle, fraught with successes and failures, continue to influence China. Today, as China strides on the global stage, the echoes of Mao's ideological battles are still perceptible. The current ideological trends in China, including the resurgence of party ideology in governance and policy, reflect a continued engagement with Mao's legacy. Mao's strategies, particularly his emphasis on ideological education and the mass line, find their reflections in contemporary Chinese politics, attesting to the enduring relevance of his vision in shaping not just past, but future trajectories of China.